how we deal with risk. What I learned from 21 years as an astronaut is that the more you know, the less you fear. The reason I wanted to do the hidden depths of purpose that are behind.
World full of busy bees working. I ain't never met a free person. I don't get along with these earthlings. I'm trying to seek purpose, fight for something I believe's worth it. For the curse, I'ma reverse it. I don't dream cause I sleep nervous. Yet I keep flirting. Face death like a Steve Irwin. Whole heat, I'ma drink thermos. Tell the bartender keep serving. I'm trying to be perfect. Using dirty shit to clean dirt with. Only happy when the weed burning. Traded oxygen to breathe urban. Till I see curtains, lungs fail and they cease working. Air is something that I need urgent. Suffocating, trying to squeeze words in. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad bless, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down to my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Sweater shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
I let the record show. I let the tech explode. Put up the weapon show. Pull up the Texaco. Knuckles in Mexico. Call up the technical. They know the text will blow. Shot to Plexico. Turn you to vegetable. Body electrical. Acid and alkaline. Body so flexible. The shooter's feast like a Uber Eats. Got a group of these suited these cooler bees. While letting the Uzi Aruga speak. An American got up in Cuba eats. The powers they seek empowers the weak. They follow with creeps. Powers that be inherit the world from cowards and sheep. Been to the mountains, top towers and peaks. Flowers and sweets and showered our feet. The light in the thunder, the shower the sleep. Shower the D's. This not a verse, this our receipts. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad bless, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down to my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Sweater shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left. It's like a track fish. I attract women, they the bad women. I'ma splash in them, leave a bag with them. Then I raise seeds to be mad different. If I die now, I'm coming back in them. Cause they dad missing, but they cash dripping. Cause they royalty, so they brag different. Ain't no ass kissing, never had feelings. Seen a white victim in a black witness. Mac gripping on my last mission. Yak sipping, blowing blackism. Gat missing, he was like slipping. Smack hit him, now we act different. Apparition, the bad vision. The Mac that chip him, the crashing system. Uncle Tom, cause you that willing. Fuck the law, I'm going back to living. Astral prisms, the black religions. Activism, the conversations. Sacrilegious, the palms of Satan. Black magicians, Babylon erasing. Raise our hands to God we praising. Hustling, the marathon we racing. Nipsey at the finish line, he waiting.
What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than
Snubs to the Rockets for the love of the chopsticks. Ran up from the plug and I pop shit. Faced with immeasurable odds. Some of you niggas found pleasure in God. Measuring rod, they treasure their jobs. Athletic build, moving with purpose. Tapped in the magnetic fields, moving with serpents. Took my brokers a stroker. Al Booker couldn't predict the storms that followed, the porn that followed. Same tree before for Rollo. We made it rain and we burnt money. Bentley truck, interior burnt honey. Anyway, I take respect over riches any day. I take neck from your riches any day. Anyway, that's a nigga full of riches any street. Shifting through paradigms, the color of Geechee Dan. Drifting through the Carolines, color in the Geechee land. Time will tell. We move around in 33rd parallels, like Coney Island carousels. Fell asleep in Roswell, woke up in Cozumel. Pyramid hopping, chariot shopping. #1 seller, author of conscious fiction. Composition, confidence driven. Continent drifting, a walking contradiction with a contradiction. Brooms and mops, Mr. Clean, we conquered the kitchen. Facts and fiction, contrary to popular predictions. Red pill, popping your prescription, stopping your addictions. Yeah, bitch, I'm with the.
There you have it. There you have it. All right. That right there was Bill Bixby. And yeah, I don't got the coronavirus. If a nigga cough these days, they ready to quarantine the God, huh? Talk black to me. Yeah. We in the building. Peace of the family, peace of the family, peace of you and yours. Welcome to this this monumental, this right here, this is an emergency episode of Third Eye Thursdays. This is March Madness. Yeah, and we already deep up in this thing right here. Yeah, we deep up in this thing right here. Indeed, the Geechee card. That's right. Let us do this roll call. Let's do the roll call and let's get into the show tonight. Because, you know, I ain't going to hold y'all. I ain't going to have y'all in this thing all night. You dig? All right, so who do we have in this thing? Who's the first person up in here? Vegas is in the building. San Fran is in the building. Acne is in the building. Atlantis is in the building. Houston, Texas is in the building. San Francisco is in the building. Athens is in the building. St. Louis is in the building. Oakland is in the building. Santa Rosa, Texas. That's right. He said war music. Yeah, that's right. Here, Babylon is falling. Indeed. That's Dade County in the building. DMV is in the building. Vegas is in the building. H-Town, SC. Yeah, Trenton. Atlanta, Vegas, Oregon. North Hollywood, Harlem, Strong Island, Harlemite residing in Philly, South Philly. Shout out to South Philly. Yeah, let me get a shout out. Where all of your schools are closed, put that in your header too. Let us know that your schools are closed. All right, NC, Los Angeles, Clinton Hill. I used to live in Clinton Hill. DC, yes, Chicago. All right, 60th Street Hustlers. Corona Thursday, Sugar Hill. Houston schools closed. Long Beach, Memphis. 305 and 954. Largo, Florida, Seminole County. Yes, where Trayvon was murdered. Maryland, schools closed. Atlanta, schools closed. VA, schools closed. Boston. Washington, schools closed for 2 weeks. New Jersey County college closed. America's economy is done. All right. Bloomfield, Connecticut, schools are closed up here. Louisville, Los Angeles, schools are about to close. Detroit, the schools are closed. San Antonio, right? The ACC tournament shut down in Greensboro. WrestleMania on standby. You don't have to pay water and sewer bill. Okay? Cryptocurrency is low right now. They're buying up. All right? Disney World is closed. New Orleans schools are closed. Certain schools in Massachusetts are closed next week for cleaning. Chicago schools are restricted. Louisville, Kentucky schools closed for 3 weeks. Disney World is closed. Panic at the Disco. NFL draft, yeah, they're next. Cleveland schools are closed 3 weeks. The NBA games were canceled mid-game in Utah, of all places. Little Rock, the burning house, Little Rock. South by Southwest, not this year, shut down. Arkansas, March 27th, all Chinatowns. Universal Studios, kaput. Chapel Hill, closed NC. Look, so this is the real news. This is not waiting for 10-10 wins. This is the real news. This is how you get your information. Right here, in about 3 minutes, everybody found out what's going on in different places around America, right? The Houston Rodeo. Did they cancel the Kentucky Derby? Because I was thinking about hitting up. I was going to hit up the Derby. Let's not forget about the Olympics. Oh, yeah. Somebody said Netflix and chill. Netflix and chill. What are you talking about? Netflix and chill. Aren't you tired of Netflix? I mean, they have interesting stories, but it's not enough to hold us. Don't feed into the panic. Oh, you don't have to worry about saying that over here because none of us are feeding into any kind of panic because we've been talking about this and preparing for this about a month and a half ago. This is nothing new. We were not distracted. We were not wasting our time talking about shit that made no relevance and made no sense to humanity whatsoever. No, that's not what we were doing over here. We were talking about, you know, the year of fear, 2020, and fear of a Black and more Messiah. You know, we were over here teaching Melanin Mondays and Third Eye Thursdays, you know, putting Ross Ben on the show, on the platform to give you the layout as to what 2020 had in store for you. So you don't play victim. So you don't say cancel 2020. It's not treating me right. Understanding what a retrograde is. Understanding what Saturn and Pluto is. Understanding what the forecast for this year is. You know, so you know when you're prepared for when the weather changes. That's what we've been doing over here. You know, go into the archives when you have the time, you know, when you're not watching all of the 100 hours of distractions that are out there. Catch up on the archives and you'll see how the narrative has been, you know, basically getting us to where we're at today. And let's talk about where we're at today. And let's put into perspective where we're at today. So tomorrow, you know, we have a better perception of what the world is and what the probabilities that exist in the world at the moment are, right? Not about what next year is going to bring, not about what 18 months later. They said the coronavirus is going to kill us in 18 months. You know, they can talk about right now. Oh, okay, right today, right now, this moment. All right, think about this. At this moment, today, on this date, right? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right now, my nigga. Rome, that they said Italy, but I'm saying Rome, right? Rome, the whole Roman Empire. China, right? You know, the Manchurians, like, you know what I'm talking about? A superpower, right? Iran, like, you know, the Persians, you know, those people in the Bible, you know what I'm talking about? Those guys. The Koreans, you know, those people who, you know, are in the hood selling Korean shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, telling you, you know, you buy now, you know, our Korean friends, K-pop in them. These are the main people who are going through what is known as a virus. But this virus has a mind of its own. This virus seems to, you know, this virus is, you know, basically going places where it wants to go. Cold climates, because it's nowhere tropical, okay? You don't have to be a first grader to figure that out. Just look at any map and be like, oh, the shit don't show up. Either somebody in cold climates is not taking trips to dive in a fucking Corona pool and bring it back to the fucking Antarctica, you know what I mean? In the jungles of some fucking hot country in Africa, or the Chinese people who had the coronavirus never made it to the airport. All of them got sick in the Uber. And I don't believe that, because it's mad Chinese people in Africa. So how the fuck is it Africa don't have zero and China got everything? And they're letting people travel from, remember, the corona thing broke in Wuhan like about a month ago. And there's been people from China getting on airplanes, going places. There's been people from Italy coming back into America, and there's no checkpoint because they don't even have a test. How about that? How about that the America don't got a test for the coronavirus because it was made in China? And that shit, you know what I mean? The factory has shut down. And then my guy, we're going to talk about Tom Hanks in a minute. We're going to talk about this goddamn bad theater that our people are experiencing. Okay? This fucking theater that these people are really trying to put on, where they're telling you about some shit that you've never seen a victim of coronavirus. Let's be clear, first and foremost. And if you have, drop the link in the chat right there. Show me the victim. I want to see the symptoms. I want to see how they look. The same way that y'all showed me Mike Brown with his brains on the sidewalk. The same way y'all showed me Philandro Castile get bodied in front of his baby and his girl. The same way y'all showed Alton Sterling get shot in his chest and his last breath come out. Show me somebody with the corona. I want to see him shaking. They're not even showing you. No, I have not seen what that shit looks like. Go through a hospital and let me see what this shit. World Star video. I'm just saying, you know, this is the World Star generation, but nobody's seen nothing. They just seen niggas with masks on grabbing people. And people with masks on talking about, yo, people are dying. I'm just saying, people are dying. But this thing looks a little too orchestrated for my spider senses. I'm like, hell no, this is bad theater. They're out here playing games with you. And the way that this thing is moving, I gotta ask the ancestors a few questions. I'm like, yo, is this you? You know what I'm saying? On the low, you know what I'm saying? Is this you? Are you cooking these niggas out here? What's going on? Huh? And then once again, remember, the conversation is about today, March Madness, right now, not about what's going to happen tomorrow, that you are going to create in your minds, because you don't want to think like, oh, you don't want to think in a way where you are creating a reality that you're winning. But right now, as it stands, once again, melanin is undefeated. Melanin is undefeated. If you don't know what your worth is at this point for just possessing something that you were inherently born with, that will protect you from a whole bunch of things in a world that's about to be real crazy in a minute, then I don't know what to tell you. You know? And if we don't respect the land in which we come from. Remember, Corona, the shit don't survive in the heat. It's remember, it's a flu-like virus, so people don't get viruses in the tropics like that. That's in flu-like weather. That's like in flu-like symptoms. You feel me? So in spring-like weather, if you just look at the map, just go and look at the corona map. Everywhere on the planet that's hot don't got no corona in there. And if there's cases of it, it's some white people who went there who tried to get better because they're like, yo, treat that shit in the sun. You know? What they're about to unleash in America, I have no idea. That's some shit that we'll talk about when they unleash it or when they release it. But what's happening and what's taking place is the coronavirus. It's a virus, and in 2020, in the 2020 during a retrograde, a virus is more than just a flu-like symptom. This is an economic virus. You understand? This shit right here. This is a computer virus. This is an economic virus. This coronavirus, this is like a worm right here. This is an electronic virus through the 5G. This thing has sickened the economy. It has stricken the economy with flu-like symptoms, and the quote-unquote lungs of the market has collapsed. So we're in a time, in a period, in a quote-unquote chapter in this book that the ancestors have been writing from time immemorial, all right? And in this chapter, it says the fall of America, because I'm telling you this, you know what I'm saying? What you're witnessing at this moment is the beginning of the shift of things to go into a place that was prophesized. You understand? It's not going to go the way expected, but it's going to happen like this. So you have to really pay attention to what it is that's taking place at the moment. And at the same time, whilst doing such, be as prepared, be as ready, be as mentally, you have to be stable-minded. You have to be grounded. You cannot be somebody who, the minute you go on Twitter and you see CNN headlines, you start going Chicken Little on these. No, you can't be like that. You have to be able to think for yourself. You have to be able to have sight beyond sight. You feel me? You got to be able to move with the like I said in the rhyme. You know what I'm saying? You know how the serpents move on the magnetic fields. You got to move like that, because at this point, anything can happen. You know, at this point, they just had to pump $15 trillion in the economy today. Because the market it's a bear market, and it's headed towards a recession at a fast pace. You know, those who are in control of the CMOS market, those of you who have a hand in the plant-based, you know, medicinal, plant-based, you know, stuff like CBD and hemp and, you know, soursop and sea moss and all of that's, you're out of here. You're out of everybody who's tapped into that market with healing, everybody who's tapped into that market with products who, you know, they have their products are proven to deal with healing and helping transform people. Yeah, you know, this is your time. This is your time to stand up and shine. This is your, you know, this is it. You know what I'm talking about? This is it. And this is definitely not time for competition and people out here, you know, trying to do their best Sabi rendition, you know, and you know, deny and try to, you know, all of that stuff that people be trying to do. You know, this is not that time. This is time for a lot of the healers to come together, to collaborate, to conglomerate and to put together something, because a lot of people are going to need help. A lot of people are going to need health products. A lot of people are going to need answers. A lot of people are they're going to need, you know, some kind of direction. You know what I'm talking about? You know. But it can't be that nigga shit, you know what I mean? And people cutting each other's throat. Nah, it has to be some kind of cooperation so this thing could do what it do. Because them other people are gonna do what it do. They're gonna capitalize. They're gonna run with that market, and they're gonna grab it from the hands of people who had it. You know. Oh, the baobab. Oh my goodness, the baobab is going ham hocks. Ham hocks. You know what I'm talking about? You know, ham hocks. Like, there's nothing to worry about with a coronavirus if you are dealing with your health. You know, if you know that, you know, you're dealing with your health, there's nothing, you know, not to say that there's nothing to worry about, but that is something that will protect you more so than if you're someone whose health or whose immune system is somewhat compromised. This should begin to show people that it's time to stop eating meats, put the meat down for the moment, because remember, the meat was going back and forth to China. Go and do your research if you don't believe me. The meat that they'll kill in America, why does it winds up in China? And then they do some shit to it, and then it comes back to America, and then they sell it to you, right? All over the world. I mean, all over America, as a matter of fact. So you should put the meat down. You should put the products that are basically coming from places like China. You should not touch that for a moment, and you should get into some somewhat immune system building, you know, nutritious, you know what I'm saying, plant-based alternatives, because they exist. Not only do they exist, but they out here popping. I'm telling you, I don't even think you could keep up. There's so much goddamn good food out here that's good for you. You know, you will not get bored. You're not going to run through all of those menus. Yeah, and then on the other side of that, they out here eating bats. So, you know, the fortification, the beginning of this shit is going to be getting your diet right. It's going to be getting the diet right. And I'm not coming at y'all. I'm not saying it in the sense where I'm this super healthy, you know, health guru or nothing. I'm also got to apply it myself. You know what I'm saying? I bought me a whole bag of a can of beans. I got some Goya old Goyas. Let me show you. Hold on. I gotta show you the size of these Goyas. Give me a minute. Yo, man, like Red Pill playing no games, man. Man, like Red Pill is playing no games, man. I got the big cans. Look at these. Yeah, I'm stacking on these Goyas, my nigga. Play around if you want. You know what I'm talking about? That's when shit get rough. Look at this. I can feed, yo, son, are you serious? You can feed a whole block with this shit. Talk black to me. This is one of them, Dominican pots and shit. You put all of that in there. But no. So let's have these conversations. Let's get into this. Let's get into the lesson tonight. You know what I mean? March Madness. And let's also talk about the upcoming class that I will be having next Thursday. Okay. I mentioned it on Melanin Mondays that the formula that I'll be using from this point, not from this point going forward, but from now, probably for like the next month or two, is I'm going to do a third eye Thursdays. Then I'm going to do an online class. Then I'm going to do a third eye Thursday. Then I'm going to do an online class. You know what I'm saying? Because the information is very heavy. I needed to have time to, you know, I need y'all to work with this information. We even need to start doing some more homework and assignments and whatnot. But the next class is next Thursday, and the link is in the description. And the title for that class is The Evolution Will Be Digitized 2020. Now, if you've never seen The Evolution Will Be Digitized, the original 3-hour lecture, you could go on YouTube and put that in the search bar, and it will come up. All right. I did it in 2015, and it's relevant. The information is relevant to right now. You know, it was 5 years ahead of its time. So when you watch it, it's talking about stuff that's going on right this year. So the next class that we'll be doing, we're going to be getting into information that's going to deal with technology from right now to this, from today, going 5 years ahead and into the future. All right. Just to throw one thing at you, just to give you an example of what we'll be building on. As it stands right now, the Zoom stocks, the stocks in the company called Zoom, right? You know, the software that I've been using for my online classes. The stocks in Zoom are booming. Why? Because the era of online teaching has arrived. Because of the coronavirus is a disruptor. The disruptor is the coronavirus of 2020. That's the disruptor of this new quote unquote age and epoch. It's almost like Galacticus in a sense. It has the potential to be Thanos-like. Its fingers is snapping on these niggas, right? So this thing is a disruptor, and this disruptor is changing the way that people are now going to do seminars, going to do lectures, going to do conferences, going to do all of these gatherings where hundreds upon hundreds and thousands of people are going to be able to witness people disseminating information. And this is going to be done through a live streaming platform. This is going to be done through the channels of live streaming mixed with virtual. Okay? Now I'm giving you a stock tip. I could go to the SEC could come and get at me for this. I'm giving y'all a stock tip. Virtual mixed with live streaming is the hands down, that's the future. Meaning that there's going to come a day and a time, and 703 people right now watching this, according to the counter right there. There's going to come a time where I'll see every single one of y'all face. I'll see I'll be able to walk up to each one of y'all, shake your hand, touch you. You'll be able to press a cash app and put $5, $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000 right in my bank, right there with you. If I'm talking on YouTube and I'm going live and it's 18,000 people that's watching the video, I see all 18,000 the same way I would if I was standing in Madison Square Garden at a sold out show, because that's the capacity of Madison Square Garden, 18,000. So when you're doing a video in one day and it's doing 18,000, just think about it. You stood in front of 18,000 and even more, because if one person is watching a video, then another one is with them. So with the so the fact that the Oculus Rift, right? The Oculus Rift, which is a glass, it's a virtual headset that Google purchased years ago. It's a Google, it's a Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who is WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. Think about this. WhatsApp, right? Connecting the whole of Africa, the continent. Instagram, connecting the industry, connecting the streets, connecting everybody. Facebook, connecting families and friends and everything. Oculus Rift. Mark Zuckerberg owns all of these in one pie. We've entered a day and a time where they're going to ban people from going outside. They're going to quarantine people in about a week. This whole shit is going to be on lockdown. This whole shit is going to be on complete lockdown. Like I Am Legend. Shout out to A.A. Rashid. He put up a clip. I might even go onto his Instagram and show y'all on this show where he showed the clip in I Am Legend where Will Smith was leaving and they were checking their coronas to get on the helicopter, and his wife took off with his daughter and the helicopter crashed, similar to Kobe taking off with his daughter and a helicopter crash. And now we're finding ourselves with this virus, what they're calling a coronavirus. This in alignment with the plagues, because the goddamn locusts was in Africa and in other places. Now we got this plague, they call it a virus, but this virus is visiting places that it's picking. It's going to Rome, it's going to China, it's going to Iran, which is Persia, it's going to Korea. You know what I'm saying? What is it, Turkey? That's a weird, you know what I mean? When I'm looking at it, I'm like, hold on. That shit got political ramifications where it's going. That thing got political ramifications. And then I'm looking at what's going on as a result of the quote unquote hype or the fear. Remember 2020, year of fear, and what is collapsing the markets? They said that it's the panic, it's the fear. They're in perpetual fear. So trillions of dollars have been lost. Billions, I think, just yesterday. Right? People's 401ks is getting washed. Is it not in Africa? Yeah. It's in people, they said it's in Europeans who went to Africa to try to get, they said some of the Chinese in Africa had it, but there's no reports from today. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know that the way that this looks on a media scale and the kind of white fragilicis that we're dealing with, they're going to make Africans suffer. They're going to make sure they get some kind of disease over there and call that the corona something. But whatever that iteration or that strain of the virus, it did not affect, it was not able to, it was curable by people who had melanin, okay? And children under 10 years old seem to be immune to it as well. This is a virus that are affecting the older generations of of the elders, people who are older and people who tend to have weaker immune systems. Congo had a case of a man from Europe. '2020 was about karma. 2020 was the year of karma, according to what Ross Ben broke down months ago when he came on the show. He said 2020 was about karma. Hold on, I got notes. Don't let me break out my notes. Hold on, I'm gonna get my notes. I'm gonna talk about 2020 so we can understand what's going on, so people can ride this shit out and don't look at it from a victim and be all petrified and victimized, you know, and all nervous and whatnot, because you're gonna miss the magic in the whole thing. You're gonna miss it all. You're gonna miss it all. But this whole shit changed in 1 week, though. How about that? How about this whole bitch switched over in about a week? You know what I mean? And then next week from now, it has the potential to be something completely different from what you knew before. That might not never go back to what you knew this thing to be prior to this. This whole thing has the potential to change things in America forever. You know? Go and read Elijah's books. You know? I will humble myself and go and read The Falling of America. You know? But then after that, I would read into the quote unquote the cosmos. You know, I would read into the cosmos because the cosmos don't lie. Shit. Is there anybody out there that's in 4X, that's eating? Somebody said weed kills it, I heard. Well, goddamn it, if we Bitcoin, like Litcoin, and eat, yeah, exactly. I would say to buy now. Shit is at a low, and people are saying that it might go lower, but I will buy now. I will buy up. I will buy up. This is a wonderful time for groups of us like us right here to put our coins together and begin to buy up things. So when the prices do go back up and when they do have another bull run, because this is basically the ending of a run. This is the ending of the bull run. Now they're going to put them in bear. It's going to be in bear for a minute, and then it's going to start going back to a bull market. Our president, your man, your brother, our brother, Barack Hussein Obama, he's the one who set it off. It's not Donald Trump didn't set off this run where all of these people was buying all of this paper. You know what I mean? Where all of these investors was making all of this money. Barack Obama did that shit. So there was an 11-year run. People were making filthy. They was getting rich while you starved. So it's about what did you do with the paper when you was getting it. That's what this whole thing gonna boil down to. It ain't about what you lost and what's none of that, none of those stories. What did you do or what have you done with the assets when you had them? Because we see the story repeat itself time after time. You know what I mean? Where people, they wake up when it's too late. I'm looking for my notes where I took on a segment about the 2020 episode where the brother Ross Ben was breaking it down. I'm gonna have to go back into the book because it's a whole bunch of stuff in here. But let's look at this from the glass half full, okay? Let's sit back and look at what's going on right now in society in a span of 7 days since we last spoken, or since we last spoke on Monday. The NBA season is canceled, or the NBA season has been terminated, or the NBA season has been postponed, right? The NCAA March Madness tournament has been indefinitely postponed. The hockey, for all of you hockey guys, NHL is a wrap. The baseball training and whatnot, that's a wrap, right? There's all of these meetings that have been canceled and whatnot. So I would have to beg to say, it seems that black men, especially, because I'm not speaking for nobody else at this point. I'm speaking to my people, right? You have time on your hand now, because the time that you would spend watching the game, the time that you would spend going to the game, the money that you would spend on the game, now you could redirect it towards something that may need your attention more than the game in 2020 at this point, right? And I would beg to differ to say that if you will allow yourself to see that as a plus rather than a minus, and begin to search and look for what it is that the ancestors, or what it is that life, or what it is that just whatever is trying to show you. And then when you find it, you will be like, okay, this shit had my attention. This shit was distracting me. Oh, I could live without baseball and basketball and all of this for a minute. Oh, I could focus on real shit like nation building, survival. Oh, okay. I could focus on, all right, boom, barter systems, because where this shit is going is going to need more of your attention, and you can't put it towards a game. The real game is going to be the Hunger Games. Talk black to me. You know what I mean? The real games are going to be the Hunger Games in a minute. So what I'm encouraging everybody that's listening to my voice tonight to do, as a precautionary measure, right? As a precautionary measure, you might eat Goya beans. If you do, then I would say spend $20 a day filling up a plastic bag of beans, right? Whether they're in a bag or in a can. $20 a day. Today is Thursday. Do this until next Thursday. $20 and just fill up a bag full of stuff. Fill up a bag full of rice. Fill up a bag full of this. Fill up a bag full of that. And by the end of those 7 days, you're going to have 6 months or 3 months worth of stuff that you stacked up. You know what I mean? And then you can make one big buy right after that. Then you could go spend a stack on the all of the other essentials. But definitely don't run out and panic, but definitely begin to, and I'm only saying this $20 a day for somebody who's not living with anyone else. You dig what I'm saying? And you don't have a super duper appetite. Because if that's the case, you're going to have to figure this shit out. Mine like Red Pill, I've been preparing for days like this for years like this. And I don't know when it was happening. I was like, yo, why am I only eating one meal a day? Why is my stomach getting smaller? Why am I this? Why am I that? Why am I learning how to exist without excess? Why am I, you know what I mean? Why am I being able to do so much with so less? Because the universe was divinely preparing me for days like this. Life, it grooms you for shit to come. So when shit comes, you could still move and function. The people who gonna have it bad is the motherfuckers that didn't prepare and have not been groomed to deal with a reality like this, or a reality that can come from shit like this. You dig what I'm saying? Where everything is starting to change, and everything is starting to close, and everything is starting to grind to a halt with no promise of when it's going to start back up again. There's no promise. You know what I'm saying? There's no promise. The only promise is what you give it. The existence, the probabilities of your reality coming to fruition exists on a scale of millions of possibilities at this point versus what it was a few weeks ago. Remember, we're talking potentiality and probability. Say it with me, kids. Potentiality and probability. Okay? All right? And when you enter that into the quantum realm, nigga, you dealing with some loaded dice. You dealing with loaded dice. So there's a disease, there's a virus that people with melanin ain't got yet. They ain't get it yet. Oh, there's cases all in America. I ain't seen no nigga, because they got the two NBA guys, they all of a sudden got it, right? And I'm like, them niggas got the flu. How about that? All right? How about you niggas don't know what the coronavirus is? Because they got the same symptoms as the flu. How about that? How about you just had to give it to two black men because those rumors, you saw the traction that you know, the searches of Google and whatnot, they look at all of those keywords. They know the traction of questions that people are asking Siri and Google and all of them. And Alexa, yo, is it true that black people can't get the corona? They like, we got to give a nigga we got to give some black people the corona so these niggas will start thinking that they can get it so they could start getting it. The same way that they had to tell Magic Johnson, a basketball player, right? Yo, tell these niggas you got AIDS, right? Because this AIDS shit is out here, but only white people is getting it. And only white people and the black people is still carrying on doing, you know, what they do. And then Magic was like, yo, I got AIDS. And niggas was like, I got it too, right? So they put black people in front of you and say, tell them niggas that you got it. And niggas is like, I got it. And niggas is like, I got it too. This shit is 100 monkey theory. This shit is fucking Simon Says. This is hypochondriacs. See, you can't trust nobody. These niggas out here is hypochondriacs. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on. This is all theater. Not to say that people are not getting sick from a virus, I feel a biological weapon, right? Yes, people are definitely getting sick, you know, and they are utilizing this quote unquote crisis to create a martial law lockdown on motherfucking society that's gonna result in some police-like shitstorm with Donald Trump at the motherfucking wheel. So you're not gonna, don't try to namaste your way through this shit. You know what I mean? And we need to fucking stick around each other. You know, and we need to have these exchanges of information, and we need to control the narrative, and we need to basically control the way we look at things. Because how dare you allow somebody to tell you how to look at some shit? Then you already lost the motherfucking war. The war is for your mind. The war is for perception. The war is for the right to interpret what the fuck is going on. But if some other shit is going on and you don't even know what it is, and you can't even claim that shit, you can't even give thanks to the shit, you can't even tap into it, then you the goofy. You're the goofy. And that's why they was restricting you from listening to real people on these internets. And then they let all of the goofies get reign supreme and just give you all of the fucking the chatty patty, you know, all of the distractions. But where we're going to have to master the realm of this digital economy. Where we're going to have to master the realm of this quote unquote electrified age. Where we're going to have to tap into the internet of all things. Where we're going to have to tap into augmented reality, virtual reality. We're going to have to really, we're going to have to get busy. Because that's what's happening in a minute. This shit is going all virtual. It's going all Oh, Jay Electronica album is fire. You know I'm going to look. I got the speaker and I got some CBD. And when this show is over, I'm gonna go ahead and tap in to the God. You know, I waited 10 years to listen to his project. But let's not be them. The financial reset is here. It's not coming. It's here. So let's not be them. Let's not be people who have without. If you have $100, this is tax season. If there's $100 that you could begin to put towards your prevention, or you could put towards any kind of, a home solution where you're beginning to stack either food, or you're going to stack supplies, or you're going to stack non-perishables, or you're going to stack ammunition, right? Or you are going to stack valuables, things like this, right? Because this is going to be valuable in the near future. Things like copper, right, will have value in the future, okay? Things like copper, amethyst, quartz, right? These are going to be of value. So if the dollar is about to fall, why would you not crystallize that dollar into something like crystals? And that price is not going to fall, but the dollar will. So you have the choice of even having some toilet paper, right? Because in a minute, this ancestor money gonna be worth more than the motherfucking dollars, that fiat that we got in our pockets. When China call in, when China call in on that debt, you know what I'm talking about? When these niggas, when the Manchurians call in on that debt, this shit right here gonna be worth more than the motherfucking dollars in our pockets. So I encourage you, my friends out there, if you can go and buy gold to do such, you know, look, I'm gonna have on tomorrow's show, because I was gonna bring them on tonight, but I want to talk to the family first by myself. I don't want to have two shows in one, because when I have people, when I have people as guests on my show, I don't really get in my bag, and I'm not able to really sit, lay back, and talk to the family, because I can't be rude. I can't have nobody sitting in the call queue waiting to get on the show, and I bring them in. So tomorrow we're gonna do an economic show. We're gonna talk about carat bars. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about gold. You know, even gold is doing negative right now, though. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna talk about cash gold. You know, the fact that they have options to, you know, tap into the carat bar market. You know what I'm saying? Some people are heavily invested in this. Some people don't know about this. Some people say that this shit is not, you know, it ain't about nothing. So on tomorrow's show, we're going to bring the people who are going to promote it, and we're going to bring the people who are going to talk about why not promoting it. And at the end of that conversation, we'll be able to make our decisions about what we want to do in that category, right? I'm encouraging the family, definitely, if you have access to buying copper, if you have access to buying silver, if you have access to buying, you know, gold, definitely do that. If you have, you know, if you could buy assets, things that are going to, you know, not liabilities. If you're able to, yeah, I said silver. I definitely said silver. But Carrigo will hit his run in 2023. Well, it's 2020. You got 3 years to run. You got 3 years to run. That's what I'm talking about. It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. You got 3 years to run, though. You know what I mean? If we don't got no dog and no race, then we can't have a conversation about nothing. You got to have a dog in something. You got to run somewhere, somehow. So I'm going to bring the professionals on tomorrow. I will not give you financial advice. I will not talk about what investments to touch and anything. I'm not going to be him. I'm going to be the one who will, I will have a panel and I will curate the conversation and I will let the experts talk they talk and I will ask them the questions that are needed to be asked. And the audience, because of what we have with this technology, you're going to be able to ask. We're going to become more interactive as we move forward into the future. Let me just let you know this, especially my students that are out there. Shout out to all of my students who showed up last Thursday for Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah, Year of Fear Part 2. All right, that is available video on demand for anybody who wants to catch up with the series that we've been doing, which is groundbreaking. All right. Part 1, we talked about the coronavirus in part 1. We did that about February, I think, maybe either late January or February. We did part 1 and we dealt with the coronavirus. We also have a show in our archives with TH3RD, breaking down the coronavirus, giving you the remedy to the coronavirus, the remedies and whatnot, the things that you can strengthen your immune system with to protect you and yours, especially your elders, from the coronavirus, right? Because my father, he's an elder and he's kind of, you know, he's on point about this thing. And where he was at, where he was working in Queens, that's like Little China. But it was big trouble in Little China. You know, so he had to take an Uber to dip him. But he's self-conscious about the coronavirus. So, you know, I know that certain people's old, you know, they main man, they pops, they mama, they grandpa, whatever, they want to protect them. So y'all gotta tap in with Blue Pill with that gold water. Y'all gotta get that sea moss. You know, at this point, I really don't want to even, I might even fast. I've been fasting, as a matter of fact. I haven't been eating. Well, let me not say I've been fasting because I haven't, because I don't want to lie. You know, I had some donuts the other night. But I'm about to start fasting with some sea moss and some water. You know what I'm saying? With some agave and, you know, definitely some salads and stuff like that and food and whatnot. But I don't want to go crazy with the food right now. I don't trust the food. I don't really trust the food. You know, I don't know where that virus is hitting people from. I don't know if it's in the food. I don't know what's going on. So I don't trust these people's food like that. You know? Yeah, I know, brother Blue been getting a lot of orders for that moss and for that gold and for everything. You know, they've been flooding them. You know what I mean? They've been flooding them. You know, so salute to that brother, and I'm sure he's gonna take care of everything. You know. Yeah, gold water. Somebody say gold water. Yeah, gold water. You don't know about the gold water? We've been drinking gold water for 10 years, brother. Where can you order the sea moss? You yeah, Mama Pill got the sea moss plus. I would suggest you get it from Mama Pill. Greenleaf-herbs.com. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna put the banner in there in a minute for Mama Pills. Go and get your herbs from greenleaf-herb.com and TH3RSDAY. I'm gonna leave that up for right now for the rest of the show before I put the Cash App back up there. But go to that website and go and order your herbs. Go and order your herbs. I'm not your doctor, so I don't know how to diagnose you, you know, and tell you what to exactly get, right? Because that's not how this works. You would have to set up a consultation, a professional consultation with either party. Or you could go on the website and you know what your body needs and you know what resonates with you and you know what kind of minerals and what kind of nutrients you want to add into your bloodstream. So when you go on the site, you'll see the options on both of these sites, and then order them and pick them out and get fortified, because at this point, we are all responsible for ourselves. At this point, no one is responsible for any single one of us. We are responsible not just for us, but for them babies. You know, for them babies. Yeah, that C3. You know what I mean? KT got some shit. I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. Stock food, stock water, stock herbs. Keep immunity high. Y'all should be going hard for the herbs wherever you could find them. It is more than what you could get out of Costco's, Kmart, Walmart. Go hard on them herbs. And I was saying it too. If you know anybody with a restaurant, have them take you to Restaurant Depot or give them $100 and say, yo, go to Restaurant Depot and spend that on mad food for me. Anybody who got a Restaurant Depot in their state, go and spend about $500 tomorrow there, and you're gonna be right. And think about it. This is the time to get right, because you know people are gonna be in their house. They're gonna want food. You know, people are gonna be in their house. They're gonna run out of stuff. You could leverage things, but you could tap into Restaurant Depot. I promise you, that's like going to Home Depot for food. Y'all might never ever in your life go into that store, and that you may have never heard about that ever. I bet you once you Google that shit, you're gonna be like, wow, this brother right here, that's a gem. I never knew about this. Because if you know about it, it would mess up and if there's people out there that own restaurants, you know, I'm giving away the plug and whatnot, but this is some time, you know, this is some shit right here. This is this is not a red light. This is not an emergency, but this is, you know, is we have to be informative. Yeah, I gotta inform y'all. I gotta give y'all the bars, man. You want to see Mama Pill go live? You know what I'm gonna do for y'all? I'm gonna set that up on the platform. I'm gonna set that up. You know what I'm saying? What herbs do you suggest in Michigan, Red Pillar? What you mean? What up, Dahudi? What do you mean? See, now y'all hitting me with the Dr. Oz questions. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna Restaurant Depot. Go and do your research. You can't walk in there as a citizen. Don't do it. They will 86 you. You know what I mean? You gotta have that special certificate that you gotta be on a record, on a files and whatnot. You can't just shop in there. Don't go in there on some, I got my EBT. I'm gonna swipe my card. No, they ain't going for that. They ain't going for that. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in there correct. But if you could kind of like, if you could sacrifice something food-wise in this trying time, I would suggest that you do such. If you were thinking about basically getting on some fasting type of shit, if you was getting on some fruit diet type of thing, if you wanted to try out Seymour's diet, if you wanted to lose some weight, if you wanted to flush your system and whatnot, if you wanted to start drinking bitters and getting in with the roots and whatnot, if you wanted to change your meat intake into something plant-based, I would say that this is confirmation that it's time to do that. You know what I mean? I would definitely say that this is the time to do such. For many different reasons, my friends. For many, many different reasons. People will be like, to eat healthy is expensive. And I would beg to differ. I would say that if you have fruit stands, or if you have if you have any places that you could go and you could whip up something at a very affordable price. You know what I'm talking about? But where we're heading in the very near future, which is uncertain, you should get things like quinoa, baobab powder. You should get superfoods, moringa, spirulina. You know what I'm talking about? You need to have all of these things. All of these things. And get ready for the reset, because the reset is here. We need to focus on what are we going to be doing. What new festivals are we going to have? Because the old ones might have come to a disruption. This is a disruptor. The coronavirus is what is known as a disruptor. I recommend you go and do the research on what a disruptor is, because it's not just a regular word. Go and do the research on the disruptor. But this can work out in our favor in so many ways. We do not have to be victimized. We do not have to begin to play the victim. We do not have to resonate in victimhood. Why? Because up until today, once again, today, we're here today, not tomorrow. I'm going to timestamp this. What's today's date? Let me show you. So if we see this shit, and if they see this later on down the line in the Thug Museum, Friday the 13th, right? Jason, okay? Freddie and Jason, Friday the 13th. Up until today, Black men and women and children were not being victimized by the coronavirus. Black women and children and men were not the main focus of the carriers of the coronavirus. Black women, men, and children were not exploiting anything coronavirus related, right? We were carrying on with our business and functioning in the ways that we need to function to, so we could provide for our family and continue to carry on in our business endeavors, right? And make our money flip. You know what I'm saying? And now that is being disrupted by a disruptor. And now this disruptor poses a threat, right? The perceived threat. The perceived threat is the coronavirus. The perceived threat is that the coronavirus is going to disrupt our everyday way of life, our comfort zone, our quote-unquote reality that we all knew that we could sit back and watch the NBA season on 18 channels, and then we could watch everything else wilding out with Nick Cannon, catch up on a little bit of Netflix and chill, watch us some NHL, some NFL, some soccer around the world, and some UFC. Two chicks have a mud wrestling competition, and then go and watch you some Meg Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? But that shit might get disrupted. And then it might not. And then it might. But things are beginning to shift a little bit. There's a paradigm shift taking place, and it's bigger than just coronavirus. The coronavirus is the disruptor. It's the agent that causes the change. It's the agent of chaos. It's the agent of change, but it's not the origin of it. It has an origin either from man's mind or from the mind of something greater than man, right? Because the ecclesiastical Christians, the Christian Zionists are eating this up and they're going bonkers. People are sending me the whole thing about Dean Koontz, the fact that they had it in Eye of Darkness. You got to remember, these authors are evangelical Christian. And these people are living out, they're making sure that they live out the biblical narratives. And the biblical narrative speaks about a plague. And the biblical narrative speaks about a locust. And the biblical narrative speaks about the economy falling. And the biblical narrative speaks about everything that you begin to see in the Zionist controlled media paradigm. You know what I mean? In which things are quote unquote theaterized, and these things are rehearsed, and there are drills. Things like Event 201. Let's go to Event 201. Let's see if they still got it up. Hold on. Let's go to Google so we can understand what the hell is going on so nobody is confused. Okay? This is a rehearsal. This is something that is, you know, this is not something that now they're trying to come up with damage control, saying, oh, the event. All right, let's share the screen. Tell me if you see the screen. Hold on. All right, you see the screen? Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to pull this screen up. Slow ass computer. Okay. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Shit. All right, y'all see that, right? Boom. So this is Event 201, right? The Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, hosted Event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise on October 18th, 2019 in New York, New York. The exercise illustrates areas where public-private partnerships will be necessary during the response to a severe pandemic in order to diminish large-scale economic and societal consequences, right? I'm not making this up. Do you see this? Are y'all reading the same thing that I'm reading? Let me know. Talk black to me. Okay? I mean, all this boils down to is common sense at the end of the day. That this whole shit is a fucking drill. That their business partners in China, these are their business partners. The people who own, last week niggas was like, China owns half of America. Well, in that case, they'll control events on both sides of the ocean. They in bed with each other. Are y'all all right? Let's read more on this. Let's continue. So in October, they were doing this drill. In recent years, the world has seen a growing number of epidemic events, amounting to approximately 200 events annually. These events are increasing, and they are disruptive to health, economies, and society. Managing these events already strains global capacity, even absent a pandemic threat. Experts agree that it is only a matter of time before one of these epidemics becomes global. A pandemic with potentially catastrophic consequences. a severe pandemic, which becomes Event 201, would require reliable cooperation among several industries, national governments, and key international institutions, right? So that is the groundwork on how you create a one world, one government, one one nation type of approach of things. Okay? This is called problem solution. So the key word to everybody who's playing this game is quote unquote pandemic. Right? Have you ever been in a play? Have you ever been in theater? Have you ever been in any kind of playwright? You know, when they tell you, yo, these are your lines, and they say, yo, nigga, chill by the curtain. What site am I on? centerforhealthysecurity.org. When they say, yo, when you hear this word come out on the stage, you be like, all right, cool. What's the key word? They say the key word, my nigga, when you hear pandemic, all of the actors rush out on stage, start panicking. That's why in the news, they were highlighting pandemic, 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 pandemic. That was the code word, right? Because they already did the drill. And the drill is preparing them for the pandemic. Because they say, oh, we let off a lot of these viruses. You know, there's a lot of this shit going on all over. Every year, there's like 200 of them. But nothing is reaching pandemic levels. Nothing is going panda. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is panda. This shit went panda. And the minute that they said it, I got bras in Atlanta. Niggas knew what they were saying. So that's when they start ramping shit up. That's when Trump and these niggas get into quote unquote marching orders. And they're laying out the fucking framework. So yes, you niggas are going to FEMA camps. You know what I'm saying? Get your fucking PlayStations. You're going on calls of duty. Yeah, that possibility exists. What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? What you want to do? Next week on Thursday, we're going to talk about what we're going to do. I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube. I'm sorry. The link is in the description. I'm going to talk about it in the classroom. And we're going to give solutions. And we're going to bring real motherfucking solutions to the table. And we're going to show how people were following the solutions that we gave 5 years ago and where they're at now. Because I got people that's still bulletproof. I got Forex traders, trillionaire Trav, he's still getting money. Cryptocurrency, Chicago crypto, he's still getting money. You know what I mean? My carrot bars, people, they getting big money. You know, everybody's eating right now. Everybody's eating. I don't got no long faces on this side. The brothers and sisters with the health products, they eating. KT is eating. The Gold Water is eating. You know what I'm saying? The Crown's oil is eating. Everything is going. They want to look good while they doing it. The Kings County is flying. They eating. Everybody's going. So we have to give ourselves our worth. We have to begin to apply value to each other. We are going to have to develop our own economy. We are going to have to adapt ourselves into a form of cryptocurrency, because as it stands, as you're witnessing, as you're bearing witness to, this quote unquote dollar does not stand. It is floating on a bubble. It is not, it's not, this is not it. I would not, if I were to be a financial advisor, I would not advise myself. And as a result, I would advise you not to either put all of your assets in fiat. Right? I would not. I would say, yo, let us develop a blockchain. let us develop a quote unquote, let's go through Ethereum or somewhere. Let us develop a coin. We have the numbers, we have the people, we have the commitment, we have the white paper. You know what I mean? Like, we got the wave. It's here. And the ancestors are creating they're pushing us to the edge to force us to fly at this point. Talk black to me. This is not all the white man's doing. He's being rounded up. You know what I mean? They making them push us off the cliff because it's time to fly. It's going to be all right. Don't worry about all of the collateral damage. That has nothing to do with you. It's a reset. And a reset, you're gonna see shit that you ain't never seen before. You know what I'm talking about? But you probably seen it because there's been other resets. But it's time for the reset. We cannot develop into what we have been working to develop into without the reset. You know what I'm talking about? Don't get scared now. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Harvey got 23. Don't get scared now, nigga. Harvey got Jordan. Don't get scared now. Talk to the ancestors. I told you before, there's a ring of fire, there's a ring of power, a ring of fire, but it's a ring of power. Or they look at who's on the other side. So if the greats are on the other side, which I call the quantum realm, what are the living doing with them? How are they using them? How are they tapping into them? How are they making things manifest in their name? How are they completing their works? Like how 50 Cent said, I'm going to complete Pop Smoke's works. I'm going to edify him by completing his works. I'm not just going to blow smoke up, up you niggas' ass that I knew this nigga and we have a hot song. I'm going to edify him by completing his works. That's how you do. That's ancestral worship. That's how you carry that out. You don't talk about, oh, that was my man's in him. No, you finished my work. You finished the work. You finished the job, my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You carry the ball over the goal line. You don't just stand on the sidelines and leave the work laying right there. You pick up the work and you flip that shit. That's what a master student, that's what a true friend will do. You understand? We got to keep it going. We got to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it going. So we got Dr. Sabi, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Blair, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. I could go on for days. These are powers. These are all entities. These are all forces to be reckoned with because they left behind literary works. So they exist in the literature, in a literary form. They have an existence in your mind. They have an existence in your imagination. They have literary works. These are works. These are manuscripts. These are the quote unquote scriptures that many of us today function off of. This is our quote unquote operational. This is our quote unquote code. You know what I'm talking about? This is our code. These are our algorithms. Shit like ISIS papers. You know what I mean? Behold that pale horse. Right? Behold a pale horse. No, yeah, Steve Coakley, Dale Jones, Uriel Bay, like Sister Myra. You have to remember, we have ancestors in the ancestor realm, and those ancestors can be tapped into. Put them on your altar. Put the candles up. You have Saint. You got Saint Nip. Put them on your altar. Put that blue candle up. You know what I'm talking about? You got to be able to call on, you know, you got to be able to call on them people. Better be able to call on them people. You know? And then let me not even talking about the rappers or the great ones like the Michael Jacksons, the Whitney Houstons, the Jane, you know, all of these are ancestors now. They're all in the ancestor realm. So can you fathom? Can you wrap your imagination? Can you tap into, you know, the reserves of your I Magi nation, where there's a reality where those spirits exist, where there's a realm where those spirits are not quote unquote dead, but they exist in a spiritual realm, you know, as light beings and things like that. Can you fathom that? Because if you can, I'm here to let you know that I can as well. And I believe that they do exist in quantum realms. And I believe that they can be communicated with. And I believe that they can be tapped. And I believe that they can send information. They could send answers. You know, they could connect you with people who you probably would never been connected with. They could point you in directions that you never would have thought to go in. And they can shield you. So, you know, I don't know, but I know that the ancestor side of our people is extremely strong, you know, and we do the work on the unseen realm, in the astral realm, in the quantum realms. They know who we are. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't feel alone. Like I never feel, you know, I'll never feel abandoned. I will never feel abandoned. It could just be me in a fucking cave somewhere, and I know that I got millions of ancestors with me because of what my mission is and what I know that this shit is a movie, my nigga. I know this is the Truman Show. I know everybody's watching. You know what I'm talking about? They never gonna not stop watching. You know, the pantheons, you know, and maybe this is just my shit. You know how you go through some shit, you think everybody else is going through the same thing. But my shit is beyond. Niggas is like, yo, Red, how you feel that the feds is watching? I'm like, nigga, the Watchman is watching. What are you talking about, nigga? The Watchman is watching. Nigga, Dr. Manhattan is watching me. Fuck the feds. You know what I mean? The feds, nigga. The feds. The Watchman is watching. I feel like niggas is watching me on Sirius B and C. You know. Everybody's watching. This shit is the Truman Show. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be fresh as hell if the feds watch it. You know, we just gotta stay fresh. You know what I'm talking about? Anything after this where people in Africa begin to get sick, you know that that's either a mutated strain or that's not the coronavirus. That's something else that was approved by the WHO and these other people who are now signing off on population control in our faces. And don't think that they're going to tell us that. You know, don't think that they're just going to tell us that. But look, let's go back to the event thing real quick. If there's some more stuff that we need to tap into, let me see. Hold on. Videos. Like they was really here just planning this whole shit that we're seeing right here. Don't fall for the okie doke.
It began in healthy-looking pigs, months, perhaps years ago. A new coronavirus spread silently within herds.
Gradually, farmers started getting sick. Infected people got a respiratory illness with symptoms ranging from mild flu-like signs to severe pneumonia. The sickest required intensive care. Many died. Experts agree, unless it is quickly controlled, it could lead to a severe pandemic, an outbreak that circles the globe and affects people everywhere.
The mission of the Pandemic Emergency Board is to provide recommendations to deal with the major global challenges arising in response to an unfolding pandemic. The board is comprised of highly experienced leaders from business, public health, and civil society.
We could be looking at double the number of cases in 1 week and 16 times as many in a month if we are not able to stop the spread. That would be on the order of 500,000 cases, and it would continue to rise exponentially. In 3 months, we could be approaching 10 million cases.
We're at the start of what's looking like it will be a severe pandemic. And there are problems emerging that can only be solved by global business and governments working together.
We have known about CAPS-like viruses in animals and people for decades, but have not been successful at developing a licensed vaccine. And sure, there are new technologies that may help, but it's going to be difficult. I am not optimistic about having a vaccine in time to be relevant during this pandemic.
So the policy crisis in question for this board in this meeting is this: how should governments, business, and international organizations allocate and distribute pandemic antivirals and medical supplies to the people who need them most?
What we've seen work very well in the HIV field is, in fact, procurement through the Global Fund. So having a centralized mechanism, so financially able to procure on behalf of affected countries is going to be critical. I think the second thing is it's going to be very important that for the business sector, for manufacturers of antivirals, that we have clarity around what the need is and where the need is and who are making the decisions.
I think that given that the countries most affected are those that are low and middle income countries with unequal access to technology, to finances, the UN has a worldwide footprint, universal.
You see how they was trying to stun on the poor countries, right? But now the pandemic
places that need them the most, and then work with the industry to move those supplies from where they are today to where they need to be.
Just
hold on. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. But yeah, we're not gonna watch the whole video. You get the point. These niggas planned this shit ahead of time. I don't wanna waste your time. Like, go and look up Event 201. That's not the smoking gun, but that's definitely something that you could give people to go and think with. Like, why is it every time something happens, there's always a drill? That's the exact thing that just happened. Why is that? Like, and why people are so naive to think that that's how shit's supposed to happen? That's not how shit happens. You know what I'm saying? That's not how shit happens. You know. So we live in a very precarious time. But we also live in very real times. You know, I'm not going to tell you to disregard the realness of the times. I'm not going to tell you to disregard the possibilities or the potentiality that, you know, that the future holds. Right? What I'm saying is, in order to be on point, in order to not get caught slipping, in order to not get caught with your pants down, you may want to tap in to the information that's being given to you, right? Because I can't trust nobody else on YouTube to tell people what they need to know. Not to take anything away from anybody on YouTube, but from what I've seen on YouTube, and 90% of that is going to distract you and give you something completely different. You know what I mean? And then there's another 5% that's going to completely put you fear-based, panic mode, motherfucking ready to slit your wrists, you know, in complete meltdown. No sound? So, am I going to stream the Blackamore event that I did? It's going to be in the app. The app is coming. You know what I mean? Everything that I did and everything that we've done, like we're about to take everything into right into our own platform, right in time. You know, the timing is excellent. You know, we're gonna have an app, a web-based app coming to you very, very, very soon. You know what I mean? So look out for that. You know, but we're in a time, like I said, where the evolution will be digitized. The evolution will be digitized. All right. KTL app. Yes, KTL app. Netterflix is here. The Know the Ledge Media is here. And the KTL University app is here. So, you know, we're going to have a pop-up very, very soon. We'll let the family know about that. And we'll be rolling those out to the family. All right. But next week when we do this class, I need y'all in the building. I'll talk more about the evolution will be digitized and Melanin Monday, right? But for right now, I would encourage the family to go ahead and tap into the archives. You know, go tap into the archives. All right, the archives are out there. I did the show. Hold on, matter of fact, let me see something. Maybe I could pull up the document of the original lecture, the evolution. Let me see. Okay. Okay, here we go. Can y'all see that? Hold on. It's loading up. It's loading up. This is a smoke break, I guess. Okay, you're saying no to what? It's frozen? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Here we go. It's blurry. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. Okay. There we go. So this is from 2015, y'all, right? The evolution will be digitized. Black and Noble presents. Black and Noble. Shout out to Black and Noble in Philly. All right. The legends. Brother Hakeem. All right. So we opened up with the binary code, explaining the binary code as computing language. All right. All digital data using computer systems is representing using zeros and ones. Binary coding systems have been developed to represent text, numbers, and other types of data. We also recommend watching binary form in music, definition, examples in quiz, and what is an input device for a computer. Introduction. All data in a computer system consists of binary information. Binary means there are only two possible values, 0 and 1. Computer software translates between binary information and the information you actually work with on a computer, such as decimal numbers, text, photos, sound, and video. Binary information is sometimes also referred to as machine language, since it represents the most fundamental level of information stored in a computer system. At a physical level, the 0 and 1s are stored in a central processing unit of a computer system using transistors. Transistors are microscopic switches that control the flow of electricity. If a current passes through the transistor, the switch is closed. This represents a 1. If a current doesn't pass through, the switch is open. This represents a 0. Binary information is also used using magnetic properties. The two different types of polarities are used to represent zeros and ones. An optical disc, such as a CD-ROM or DVD, also stores binary information in the form of bits and lands. No matter where your data is stored, all digital data at the most fundamental level consists of zeros and ones. In order to make sense of this binary information, a binary notation method is needed, also referred to a binary code. All right. So binary notation, each binary digit is known for short as a bit. One bit could be used to represent two different values, 0 and 1. To represent more than two values, we need to use multiple bits. 2 bits combined could be used to represent 4 different values, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. 3 bits can be used to represent 8 different values, and so on. African origins of binary code, right? Digital hyperstition. Ron Eglash, Africa and the Origins of Binary Code. Go and look up Ron Eglash. He's a European. He does a lot of research on the binary code and the African origins to it. The relationship between what we do as physicists today and the future that our work engenders is a dialogical in the sense that not only do our present actions determine what our future be, but we must be ever mindful of the impact of our present actions on the future. Through our moral responsibility and awareness of signals and trends, we in effect listen to what the future has to tell us. That was Donna Walton, Chair, National Conference of Black Physics Students, 1995. While the temporal traditions of African societies were frequently cited by colonialists as evidence for primitive superstition, they appear today in quite the opposite context. Mathematical analysis of traditional African designs, techniques, and knowledge systems indicate a wide array of sophisticated indigenous inventions, like Paul Gilroy's Fractal Atlantic, Donald Walton's invocation of African divination traditions of listening to the future is not only useful in its call for greater ethical responsibility, but also as a member to the surprising links between traditional knowledge and modern science. The modern binary code, essential to every digital circuit from alarm clocks to supercomputers, was first introduced by Leibniz. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Leibniz around 1670. Leibniz has been inspired by the binary-based logic machine of Raymond Lull, which in turn inspired by the alchemist's divination practice of geomancy, Skinner, 1980. But geomancy is clearly not of European origin. It was first introduced there by Hugo of Santilia in 12th century Spain, and Islamic scholars have been using it in North Africa since at least the 9th century, where it was first documented in written records by the Jewish writer Aaron ben Joseph. They're talking about the Moors. Geomancy is traditionally practiced by drawing patterns in the sand. It begins with 4 sets of random dashed lines. These are paired off, i.e., summed by addition module 2, and the even odd results recorded with 2 strokes or 1 stroke. 4 of these binary digits represents one of the 16 possible divination archetypes: ruler, travel, desire, etc. Although the first 4 are generated by this random process, the following 12 are created by recursively applying the same pairing operation on the binary digits, making up the 4 symbols, a process which can be seen in many other areas of African knowledge systems. The nearly identical system of divination in West Africa associated with Fa and Ifa was first noted by Troutman. He assumed that geomancy originated in Arabic society, where it is known as Ilm al-Rami, the science of sand. The mathematical basis of geomancy is, however, strikingly out of place in non-African systems. Like other linguistic codes, number bases tend to have an extremely long historical persistence. The ancient Greeks held 10 to be the most sacred of all numbers. The Kabbalah's Ayin Sof emanates by 10 Sephiroth, and the Christian West counts on its Hindu-Arabic decimal rotation. In ancient Egypt, on the other hand, base 2 calculation was ambiguous, even for multiplication and division. In Blavatsky noticed archaeological evidence linking it to the use of doubling in accounting systems of sub-Saharan Africa. Couch noted that both Diodorus Siculus and Oblian reported that the ancient Egyptian priests employed an image of truth cut in halves. So I'm not going to read the whole lecture. I'm just giving y'all some tidbits. This is what I did in 2015. All right. This will be available, you know, for anyone that wants to purchase the actual ebook. You know what I mean? You know, that'll be $44. you know, selling this for $44. And this is the future. I mean, this is I went in. Like, this is the truth right here. We tied in the computers. Like, we really went in and showed how when you're dealing with this technology and these things called algorithms, right? You're dealing with this African language. You're dealing with this ancient system right here. You know, so nothing is outside of our reach. Nothing is outside of us. You know, we are the digital world. We are the light realm. You know, the Moors were the ones who came up with algorithms. Algorithms run the world. The Google search is an algorithm. You know what I'm talking about? That you may also enjoy. These are all algorithms. All of this is an algorithm. Coltan, of course, the one of the basis of running these electronic devices, that comes out of Africa. You know, they have slave markets for it now, but we could tap into that. You understand? Marcus Garvey had steam. Hold on, let me see something. Marcus Garvey has STEAMs: science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Does that sound familiar? Where have you heard that before? Well, you heard that with the Europeans coming with STEM, telling you that we're going to see if your children qualify to come into our STEM schools. We'll determine if we want them around us. We're come to find out that Marcus Garvey was the one that introduced that whole entire concept, and he called it STEAM. And that's something that our homeschoolers, because when I did the roll call today and I asked how many schools are closed, damn near everybody said that the schools is closed where they at. So what I'm seeing is it's time to start teaching these children what they really need to learn now that they're not in school, and now that we could teach them collectively, now that we could put them in classrooms where they could tap into a teacher who's on the other side of the planet teaching them, or they could be in classrooms, or they could be in auditoriums with teachers and groups of teachers and counselors and people who are going to give them the real information. That's what our babies deserve. That's what our children deserve. That's a plus that we could get out of this whole situation that we see going down right now. Talk black to me. Let me read more. The principal aim of Marcus Garvey's foundation, the United Negro Improvement Association, was Black upliftment through education. In his travels through North Central and South America, Garvey witnessed the effects on his people who had accepted the racist meme that Black people were lazy, ignorant, and shiftless. In his lectures, he had to remind his audiences about the great civilizations of Africa that excelled in science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. STEAM. 73 years after Garvey's death, the effect of those crippling racist ideas have not yet eradicated. Many of our young people still believe that they are genetically incapable of excelling in science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, but Garvey knew better. Here are a selected quotes from his writings. Africa was people with a race of cultured Black men who were masters in art, science, and literature, men who were cultured and refined, men who, it said, were like the gods. Even the great poets of old sang in beautiful sonnets of the delight it afforded the gods to be in companionship with the Ethiopians. This race of ours gave civilization, gave art, gave science, gave literature to the world, but it has been the way with races and nations. The one race stands out prominently in the one century or in the one age, or in another century or age, it passes off the stage of action and another race takes its place. The Negro once occupied a high position in the world, scientifically, artistically, and commercially. But in the balancing of the great scale of evolution, we lost our place, and someone other than ourselves occupies the throne, my nigga. 3,000 years ago, black men excelled in government and were the founders and teachers of art, science, and literature. The power and sway we once held passed away, but now in the 20th century, we are about to see a return of it in the rebuilding of Africa. Yes, a new civilization, a new culture shall spring up from among our people, and the Nile shall once more flow through the land of science, of art, and of literature, wherein we will live black men of the highest learning and the highest accomplishments. That's taking place right now. That's taking place right now. So Garvey was talking about right now. This is Garvey on technology. Improving the conditions of the human race. The eyes of all nations are turned on the United States. For here the great movement was commenced. Africa, like the bereaved mother, holds out her hands to America and implores you to send back her exiled children. Does not Africa merit much at the hands of other nations? Almost 4,000 years. She, from then, rich storehouse of her genius and labor, sent out them, science and arts and letters, laws and civilization. The hope of the black race lies in our new blood, the new Negro, who is already rising to the heights of nationhood. He is the man of the future. By science, art, history, politics, industry, and religion, he will rise above his environments, and in another 100 years shall have laid the pillars of the greatest civilization the world ever saw. Come on, man. Talk black to me. All right? Noble Drew Ali. When a debate arises about the prominent leaders of colors from past and present, the names we'll frequently hear discussed are Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Washington Carver, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and current president. Whoop, whoop. Seldom if ever is the name Prophet Noble Drew Ali mentioned. This is perhaps because so little is known or documented about him. All right. We went into the Moors. All right. Even the Moors with their technology. The Moors introduced to Europe paved, lighted streets with raised sidewalks for pedestrians, flanked by uninterrupted rows of buildings. Paved and lighted streets did not appear in London or Paris for hundreds of years. They constructed thousands of public markets and mills in each city. Cordova alone had 5,000 of each. They also introduced to Spain underwear and bathing with soap. Their public baths numbered in the thousands when bathing in the rest of Europe was frowned upon as a diabolical custom to be avoided by all good Christians. Poor hygiene contributed to the plagues in the rest of Europe. Moorish monarchs dwelled in sumptuous palaces while the crowned heads of England, France, and Germany lived in barns, lacking windows, toilets, and chimneys, with only a hole in the roof as the exit for smoke. Human waste material was thrown in the streets since no bathrooms were present. Education was made mandatory by the Moors, while 90% of Europe was illiterate, including the kings and the queens. The Moors introduced public libraries to Europe with 600,000 books housed in Cordova alone. They established 16 outstanding universities. So here we have the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Hold on, real quick. Y'all with me? Y'all, okay, y'all here with me? Talk black to me. All right. So here we have the messenger, the big homie, the supreme wisdom, advanced technology. So then I was showing the new boom towns, right? New York, Houston, Washington, D.C., plus college towns and the energy belt are all up, while much of the Sun Belt is still down. mapping the winners and the losers since the crash. So we were just building on where are the tech clusters, the startup communities, and what is known as boom towns. You know what I'm saying? So we were showing people these are the towns that are booming right now. These are the boom towns. If you want to get into business or if you live in these areas and whatnot, begin to tap into the economy, tap into the boom, tap into that rush, tap into that economic bubble. All right. The cities where African Americans are doing best economically. We went through all of those cities. Atlanta was number 1. Raleigh was number 2. Washington, DMV was number 3. Charlotte was number 4. Virginia Beach was number 6. Orlando, number 7. You know what I'm saying? Seattle, Washington, number 10. These are some of the places that I visited mostly too. Atlanta. Well, I didn't hit NC. Well, I hit NC, but not like that. DMV. You know, Virginia Beach, yeah. So I'll be in Charlotte. We'll be in Charlotte this summer. All right. So yeah, this is just going through. The evolution will be digitized. So the one that we'll be doing next Thursday, it will be a update to this right here. It won't be this. It will be an update to this. It would be more information from a 2020 standpoint. But this is an example of the information that you'll be exposed to. This is an example of the high level of research that you're going to be exposed to, that you would have to pay thousands of dollars, thousands, not hundreds, thousands of dollars to receive on the internet. You know what I'm talking about? You know, on the internet, because we have people who are entrepreneurs. Then we have technopreneurs. A technopreneur is an entrepreneur in the field of technology, right? Techno and entrepreneur, technopreneur. I consider myself an entrepreneur and a technopreneur and a social entrepreneur. Okay. Shout out to the brother D. Miller L. Economy of Life and the Electrified Age. D. Miller L., the creator culture and the entrepreneur. As an analogy, culture could be seen as soil and the individual as the seed. What I have termed as the creative culture is a soil and the entrepreneur is the seed. This entrepreneur may be a scientist or highly skilled person. This person may also be an artist or a highly talented person. These two are not necessarily the same, but can be. While a scientist is highly skilled, they lack the raw talent of an artist. Although the artist has raw talent, they lack the ability to execute in a systematic way. Both of these characters are needed. The artist and the scientist together will design and build the future. In this work, I will use the word entrepreneur and seed as well as culture and soil interchangeably. The step ladder. Entrepreneurs of the creative culture are developed in a particular fashion so that they may learn to express themselves fully. There are 3 main stages of development or expression for the seed or entrepreneur. These stages cannot be rushed or skipped, but are natural processes or rites of passage. I will use development and expression interchangeably in this portion. Belief. In belief, I can fly. In the first stages of an entrepreneur's expression, he has an innate feeling that something is missing or something is wrong. These people are insightful enough to take in information and create a solution to address what can be seen as a problem or inconvenience. This early stage is a creative one and consists of the entrepreneur thinking, perhaps this may work. Look, y'all can play around if y'all want, you know what I'm saying? But this information is timeless and we got it and y'all need it. You know what I mean? Serial entrepreneur, an entrepreneur who continuously comes up with new ideas and starts new businesses, as opposed to a typical entrepreneur who will often come up with an idea, start the company, and then see it through and play an important role in the day-to-day functioning of the new company. A serial entrepreneur will often come up with the idea and get things started, but then give responsibility to someone else and move on to a new idea and a new venture. This can be a good thing if the individual has lots of unique ideas and it is best one suited to get each one started, but can be a bad thing if the individual stops putting time into a company that need his or her help in order to try to move forward with a new idea that may or may not succeed. I know a bunch of serial entrepreneurs. The death of the artist and the birth of the creative entrepreneurs. So we were calling it out, that we were building on that back then. All right. Smartphone use, mobile phones, you know, tapping into the mobile market, showing the power of the internet, just giving you the facts, giving you receipts. Minorities, black girls coding, you know what I mean? Tapping into that whole thing. The Jesse Jackson shakedown that they were doing at Google and whatnot with Diversity 2.0, you know, how he goes and shakes them down, you know what I mean? Civil rights leader Jesse Jackson spent most of this year pressuring the technology industry into facing up to the glaring scarcity of women, blacks, and Latinos at companies renowned as great places to work. Now comes Diversity 2.0. You know, that's just the Jesse, it's a shakedown. You know, it's a shakedown. Silicon Harlem, I think they closed their doors. I'm not too sure, but this is like corporate funded. Yeah, so we shine light on Nas, the investor, right? How Nas is becoming an investor, right? Nas and his manager have invested in 40 startups and they're just getting started. Why you don't know about that? Like, what, you know what I mean? I don't think enough people know about that. I don't think enough people know about that. Nas and his manager have invested in 40 startups. You know? They don't talk about that. They don't want the children to know about that. They don't encourage them to get into stuff like that. They want these niggas to be drug dealers. Nas is an investor. Nas got information. But do Nas rap about this information in all of his albums? No. He needs to put that shit in his lyrics a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? He got more shit to talk about than the Escobar shit. You know, he out here making big digital moves in the digital realm. I think he should pass that information on in the form of rhymes. That's just how I see it. You know, that's just how I see it. Jay-Z out here doing all kind of fundraisers and shit and all kind of social activities and whatnot. And he giving up some game too in his bars. So I think, you know, not to compare the two. Look at Will.i.am. Will.i.am he's in that space doing big things. He's tapping into a whole nother. He's a coder now. He's not even into music like that. This 2013. Will.i.am is on coding back then. He's like, fuck that. I'm a coder. He's making big moves in that world. Him and Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, he's creating wearable tech. The future. Brad Feld, go and get his books. He has a lot of information on building a startup community. Brad Feld, he's built up communities that are digital. Don't mind that he's not of, you know, melanin descent. You don't need, he got formulas. You know, don't play dumb now. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas be paying $3,000 a weekend to go listen to white people tell them how to, you know, do all kind of shit in life and hack this and do that. So yeah, go and read the book. Go and do the research. Brad Feld. You know what I mean? I'm giving you bars. Startup City, Miami. All right, we could be here all night and we're not going to be here. I'm shining light on African technopreneurs. Their real name, they exist. There's real people out here that's really caked up, that's doing big things on the continent, man. You know what I mean? And they listen to the same Afro beats that you listen to. You know what I'm saying? Young people making big moves. This is I did this lecture in 2013. I did the research. This is a while back. So where we at now? So next Thursday we do follow-up. We're gonna do follow-up. We're gonna show where we at now. We're gonna give you more information, more bars. You know what I mean? More things to get on. Yeah. More things to you know, more information to tap into, because like I said, this is a global thing. This is a global thing. I was talking about Bitcoin all the way back then too. I was giving people the information on the crypto and all of these things, right? All the way back then. The crypto. So yeah, there you have it. You know what I'm talking about? That's just a run through of the of some of the that's just a run through of some of the archive that we have. Let me get these trolls out of here. Hold on. Let me clean this shit up. Let me go spray the raid up in this bitch. Get these roaches out. Oh, there we go. There we go. You know what I'm talking about? We got them up out of here. There we go. But you know, we've been on it. We've been on it. We've been doing our research. We're gonna continue doing our research. You know, the research is something that this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is what we were sent here to do, and that's what we continue to do, and that's what we're gonna continue to do. And like I said, the solutions are here. The solutions are here. Let's tap into them. Let's tap into them. You know what I mean? Let's tap into the solutions. You know, let's get these solutions going. Let's trust each other, and let's make some bread. I mean, I know that ain't the only thing to be doing, but you know, let's stay alive. How about that? You want to do that? You feel like doing that? Let's stay alive. But you know, we got to be responsible for each other, and we got to be responsible for our family, right? And like I said, you don't need no new information in the archives. TH3RD did videos. We did videos go all the way back into 2 months ago. We was doing videos so you could understand what's going on and what to do. TH3RD. I put the websites with Mama Pill and KT. They got herbs. You know, don't hit my line like, yo, Red, they declared martial law, bro. What to do? You know. What's my PayPal? I don't use PayPal anymore. I don't fuck with PayPal no more. Peter Thiel, the owner, I can't do that no more. You know. But yeah, man, I'm gonna tap out though, because I have more research that I have to do. I have to prepare for this upcoming class next Thursday. Melanin Monday is coming up. Melanin Monday is coming up. You can't use Cash App. What other way to reach me? I don't even know, to tell you the truth, brother. I would say the best way to do that, go to the website. I'm gonna give you the website right here. So the best way to, if you can't do it, this is the best way to do it. Right there. There's your options. You could go to Patreon and become a patron. You could go to Kings County and buy a t-shirt. You know, fair exchange, no robbery. I'd rather give you something for what you want to give back. You know, fair exchange. That's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Become a Patreon, $5. $10, you get the those when the benefits start to kick in. You know what I'm talking about? But I definitely want everyone who was in class last week to be back next week on Thursday. I want everybody who was on the live tonight to join me in our class next Thursday. And don't think about no doomsday scenario about what if this and what if that. We'll be back on Thursday to do class, and we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about, because I'm sure from today leading up to next Thursday, there's going to be a lot of interesting developments taking place on a global scale, right? On a global scale, we're positioned to see some things that we may not have ever seen before, and it's all good, because the only thing constant is change, and you know that's the kind of 2020 was. Change was promised, right? Change was promised for 2020. So don't get all, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you niggas was watching the Avengers Endgame and whatnot. So, you know, change is promised. Thanos snapped his fingers, right? And, you know, we're in phase 4 of the Marvel Universe. So things are changing. Shit is different. The class is on Patreon. The previous class, the class is not on Patreon, the previous class. All right. The previous class is available for video on demand. Okay. But it will be for all of the Patreons. The class will be available on Patreon as early as tomorrow. We'll release it to the Patreon as early as tomorrow, even though everyone at Patreon received the link to be able to view the quote unquote class, you know, on the Zoom. All right. So with that being said, I want to say good night to where do you go for the class? The link for the class is in the description. You buy your ticket on Eventbrite, or you go, matter of fact, let me put the link in the Eventbrite right here. You go to the Evolution Will Be Digitized 2020.eventbrite. Evolution Will Be Digitized 2020 on Eventbrite. There you go. So go there and get your tickets. It's only $20. Begin to buy your tickets. Don't wait till the last minute. You know, we want to send everybody their link ahead of time so we don't have to deal with any technological difficulties. So we'll have the link to you as early as Monday and as late as Wednesday for the Thursday class. So you could just click on the Zoom and we'll all be in class together. And like I said, I'm going to be giving you solutions. We're going to be dealing with the technological advantages that exist in this new economy that we see developing as a result of people having to be quarantined or staying inside of their house, meaning that mobile activity will be picking up in large percentages. People are going to be engaging in mobile activity, mobile shopping, drone drop-offs. All of these things have the possibility, you know, streaming networks, streaming systems. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of things, and we'll get into that. So, like I said, the link is in the description. The website, the Eventbrite is right there, and right here in that bar. And for anybody that wants to sign up to the Facts 2020 website, facts2020.org, Kings County for the close, Patreon to be a Patreon, to be a patron and a supporter and an investor in what we're doing over here at Know the Ledge. You dig? Goldwater, that's the Goldwater is the goldewater.com, goldewater.com. That's 19 keys and blue pill. All right. So with that being said, love and light to the family. No panic. Don't lose your minds. Don't lose your heads. Remember, we are protected by the ring of power. We have these ancestors that are walking with us. Why don't we just talk to them after this show tonight? We're still in the throes of this new moon. We could talk to the ancestors and say, ancestors, protect us and guide us, but make Babylon fall. Continue to make Babylon tumble. Why not? You know, that's what, you know, tap into what this whole worm moon, what the worm moon was about. And, you know, send those intentions into the universe. Because I promise you, do not give these white people all of this power. Once again, don't forfeit the inclinations, because my intuition is telling me do not forfeit the maneuverings of the ancestors. Don't do it. Give them their credit the same way that you niggas is giving Jesus the credit when he grabbed the wheel and all of these other things. Give them their credit for doing this thing, for doing what they do. You know what I mean? Give them their credit sometimes. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Where's Jason? People be giving up all their power, right? People be giving up all their power. This shit is crazy. But the power is ours. The power is definable. You could define the power. You don't have to, it's like you saw with the divination with the zeros and the ones. It's what it's what you say it is. Yeah, worm moon. Yeah, the worm moon was just a few days ago. The worm moon was 2 days ago. You know, when they were creating all of this chaos with this coronavirus. So like I said, just in case, you know what I'm talking about? Just in case, you know, I'm around all of the, you know, I'm in a Spanish hood. I'm in a barrio, you know? So I'm surrounded by Goya. I'm surrounded by Goya and Sazon. So this is what I'm stacking up. And if I threw this shit at somebody off the roof, it would do some damage. So I don't, just in case, you don't know. Y'all better have y'all just in case. You know what I'm saying? You better have your just in case. And if you don't got it, my nigga, go and get it. Because you only got a few days left. Is it okay to be a little afraid? No. You do not. Look, fear, false expectations appearing real. False expectations appearing real. It don't, the meaning of fear doesn't change based off of the circumstances. It's still false expectations appearing real. What you know today is that you don't got it. And that, like I said, where it stands, people who look like you ain't getting it. That's where it stands today. And you should live in the now, live in today. Don't try to live all over the place. Live in today. As it stands today, you're good. So that's where you keep your mind. You're good. You're always good. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck got you where you're at right now, my nigga, even if you're recovering from the corona, nigga, you're good. What's happening with the homeless and places that are shut down? Yeah, we need some homeless correspondents. Do we have any homeless people watching the show who could correspond with us about what's going on in the homeless shelters, what's going on in the train stations where they're underground, when they start shutting down the cities and whatnot, and the martial laws, because they got fucking troops marching. I seen them in Philadelphia. Niggas is on social media posting the troops. So when they start marching through New York and because they quarantined New Rochelle, they already sent the army to New Rochelle. That's not far from the Bronx. If we got to do some Underground Railroad shit, can I start couch surfing? I might have to cowabunga through the South, my niggas. Can I couch surf on your Airbnb? I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? If a nigga gotta hit the road, Jack. If this shit send me on my Bill Bixby, what if the fucking coronavirus send a nigga on a Bill Bixby? They better stop. They better not ask for the rent this month. I know that. I know that's right. I know that's right. So think about this. Like I said, this is all perspective. Everything is how you make it. This is a textbook example of what perspective is in 2020 in the motherfucking time of vision, right? I'm welcome to the crib in Chicago. Look, I'm gonna light up my hemp right now. I'm trying to tell you. I hope it's hemp friendly. Yeah, I'm talking about. I hope it's hemp friendly. I hope you got some Bobby Hemmett and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I hope you got some I hope you got some lemon zinger and some sea moss, and then we're good. I'll even go for some goddamn magic mushrooms. Shit. We going to Bobby Hemp. Bobby Hemmett and Bobby Hemp. Smoke and Grow Rich Tour. Shout out to Smoke and Grow Rich Tour. Yeah, we gonna smoke and grow rich. Anywhere that I gotta go where I'm on the motherfucking run, I'm MORE. Moore's on the run eating. I'm gonna need to smoke whenever I ride, my nigga. I would just let you do that for the gate. I just can't pull up and sit down, my nigga. I'm gonna need to roll up. You know what I'm talking about? That shit, you know. But all jokes aside, though, we all got to stay informed. You know about censorship. So censorship is the possibility of them shutting down certain pages and whatnot, or censoring certain voices of people who they know are prominent voices, what they deem thought leaders. But they've given it the bad, dirty name of extremists and whatnot. So this is not my home. YouTube is not my home. I'm just visiting here. By the way, hit the subscription button. I'm just visiting here. So I've developed other homes outside of YouTube so we don't have to lose contact. You know what I mean? Because all you niggas don't live around my way. So when we launch these apps, you'll be able to find us. In the meantime, we already have web pages for you to sign up and leave your email and your contacts, like facts2020.org. We got thousands of members in Facts. Thousands upon thousands of people have signed up to Facts. I love each and every one of y'all, and we're gonna get this shit together. We're gonna get this shit straight, because now it's really about food, art, clothing, technology, and shelter. Just like that, in a Thanos snap, it all switched up. Didn't I tell you this shit was gonna change? Did we not say that this shit is gonna switch up overnight? You know? I'm gonna let y'all get to sleep though. I appreciate everybody for being here tonight. Monday, I will see you. But make sure y'all sign up to facts2020.org. Make sure y'all continue to support. That's very important. You know, it's time to step up the technology. It's time to do a lot of things, because as we see, time is of the essence. So we can't play no silly wait around you know, playing on our, nah, we got moves to make. We got things to do. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we got plans. You know, we're gonna roll out the plans. Come to class next week and be a part of that private bunch. Be a part of that group. Be a part of that classroom, so you can receive your instructions. All right. Love and light to the family. Stay dangerous. Peace.